Hello mga tujumir, amna sa HornbillTV. Hina laga report kude NSCN laga China Myanmar module pra Manipur laga ban Korea outfit ke madad dia se ko gina likhe. Idu opera NSCN IM pra jawab digina kushi ke itu khota khan khali misleading ekla nohoi gina cruel aro vicious bi ase kushi. Group pra kushi ki tai khan jani ase India laga sarkar pra tai khan laga khilaf ekta propaganda war chule ase aro KN close B aro PDF laga naam pra Indian Security Forces kan NSCN laga khilaf proxy war khili ase. Kintu Naga Army pra KNA close bi aro PDF laga khilaf larai kuribole ekta kadam bi luanai kushi. Group pra kushi ki Indian Security Forces pra Naga Army ke Myanmar laga Myo tap area de thagibole mon Nahua nimide hodai KNA close bi laga naam loi ase. Kintu dikhi pai ase ki Indian Security Forces parahi KNA B के मेटे revolutionary group लगा खिलाफ लड़ाई करबले logistics और material support दिया कुशे NSCN प्रारो इंजाम लगाशे कि Indian Security Forces प्रा मणिपुर लगा त्यांग नोपाल district थगिया कुकी militant groups कान के भी म्यांमार बितोर जाएगिना मेटे revolutionary groups का लगा खिलाफ लड़ाई करबले दिया से security forces का प्रा कुकी खान गे जुलाई गिना नागा लगा खिलाफ कुंदोगोल करबले कोशिश थगिया कुशी और international border कामचोंग district थगिया भी बोन करिगिना CSOs कान के भी रुकाया से कुशी Aji May 16 de Nagaland State Cabinet pra meeting ekta law pichide ANP or Taikan logo de thagya bodies kan ge ahia ULB election de part lobi ko gina mati ase. Minister of Power and Parliamentary Affairs KG Kenya pra kushi ki ULB election to women's reservation nimide bishi deri larai Korea pichide Supreme Court pra kwa khota mani gina loi ase aro idu khan public laga welfare nimide loi ase. Agire Kenya pra ANPO laga Frontier Nagaland Territory mamla de kiniga huishe idu opor bi jankari dishe.
The cabinet meeting today dwelt on our ENPO issue, on their movement to achieve the FMT and what has followed since then. So, a review of what the sequences of events have taken place since last year. We had dwelt on those. And with the latest statement made by the ENPO on the issue, the government has to make certain clarifications. Firstly, we would request that no quarters has any misunderstanding or have misconceptions on the entire process. We should understand that no adverse remarks have been made by any individual or organizations ever since the ENPO movement started for a new political entity. And the state government has in fact initiated this by recommending the case to the MHA more than a decade back. So ever since then, things have been working in perfect tandem, and there were no misunderstandings at any point of time. So, the state as such, as you are aware, was not a party in the talks, and it was a direct meeting between the ENPO and the Ministry of Home Affairs. All the while since 2011. And it is just few months that the state government of Nagaland had come into the picture after the state government paid a visit to Delhi and interacted with the Ministry of Home Affairs and Minister of Home himself, that the state insisted that it should also be taken into confidence and that it should be a three-party talks in whatever concerns the aspiration of the ENPO. So a tripartite talks proposal was made by the state government in October last year, following which they reciprocated, and the Ministry of Home Affairs after that have taken our Chief Minister into confidence, and some correspondence have been established since then. Now, the latest issue pertains to a draft letter received from the Ministry of Home, letter received from the MHA, where a draft proposals containing certain points that surrounds the demand made by ENPO to the GOI were the main contents of this draft. So, on receiving this, our Chief Minister had a meeting, a consultative meeting with the legislators from the eastern region, and he has handed over this draft he received from the MHA to their convener called the NLU, Eastern Nagaland Legislators Union, sometime in the later part of December last year. This draft was supposed to be discussed along with the other members of the ENPO and all relevant organizations representing that region. Now, controversy started at that point. To be specific, the letter came to be questioned of its authenticity, and members of the ENPO did not accept it as an official letter from the MHA, but it came under accusation that this was a manipulated draft from the state's level at the chief minister's level, to be precise. So they refused to acknowledge that this was from the MHA, despite the legislators, NLU legislators, persistently telling them that this is authentic. So unfortunately, matters could not be taken up for discussions at their level, which was very necessary because it pertains to the sharing of powers if tomorrow things unfold as per their aspirations. The power sharing has to be there among their representatives. So the first thing, it deals with the power sharing, then the rest can be discussed further. But since it got stuck from the beginning on the question of its authenticity, I believe no further discussions could take place. And after that, We have had so many other issues at hand which took most of the attention of the government. And for want of more positive response from the ENPO side, the state government have kept this matter still pending to be addressed. But it got stagnant here, and that was the reason. So that is one clarification we would like to make. And all the sequences of events from last year, after the matter came to the table of the government, up to today, are contained here in this press statement which the government is making today. The copy which will be given to you, where days and dates and months, everything was reflected for your information. That is.
Hello Sia, Ikra. So good to be back. How have you both been?
We are fine. How was your football camp? Was it fun?
Oh, it was super fun. We played a session with Bhaijung Bhutia. That was amazing. The rest of it wasn't as much.
Bhaijung Bhutia? Wow, that's amazing. And why wasn't rest of it fun?
Well, mostly we were busy with practice sessions. But since it was our first trip away as senior grade, boys wanted to have fun. One evening, Leo and Veer really pressured me to pickpocket football memorabilia from the stadium.
What did you do then?
I had to make excuses every day to get away. It was quite hassling. I'm glad the trip is over now.
Max, was it easy for you to resist peer pressure?
Honestly, it was not. There were times when I thought maybe it's better to do as they say. But then I kept reminding myself that I was there to play football. I wouldn't let anything hamper my chances to make it to the state team. Focusing on what I really wanted helped.
So proud of you, Max. Talking of peer pressure, I got into a little situation myself.
Really? What happened?
So, Leena, Soma and I had gone out for a movie. After the movie, we went to a cafe and both the girls really forced me to try a cigarette.
Oh, I too faced a similar situation last month. What did you say then?
Well, I resisted a lot, but then they wouldn't listen. So, finally I took one smoke. It felt horrible. I wish I knew how to get out of the situation. This is peer pressure in substance abuse, alcohol, cigarettes and drugs. But do you know, there's peer pressure in body image also.
What's that?
It is when friends or other people force you to look or dress in a certain way. I'm often told to dress like a girl.
That's not nice. No one should decide on how we dress. What do you do to deal with this pressure?
I just give importance to my likes and dislikes. After all, I know myself the best. Of course, it also helps to have lovely friends like you and Sia. Like my classmates keep telling me that Tenzing really likes me and I should go on a date with him. They keep saying it's high time I had a boyfriend. Almost everyone has one.
It's not a competition.
Exactly. Besides, I don't even like boys. But that's none of their business. When friends force us to engage in romantic or physical relationship, that is peer pressure in a relationship. I think it is best to be ready with strategies to combat peer pressure. And no matter what, we should stand by what we think and feel and not go with what others say.
Nagaland laga Power or Parliamentary Affairs Minister KG Kenya pra Thursday de Junaishi ke India Sokar pra free movement regime hatai dibule Faisla law por arbi side dibule yakin dilaishi Unimide Center pra Faisla na law tak patience thagibe kushi Kenya ro yard dilaishi ke State Assembly pra resolution pass kuri digina center pra FMR ge hatai dibule Faisla law do arbi bhabna kuri dibi koigina request kuri dishi Junai dibo ke center pa India और Myanmar laga majure thagya border defencing manai digina free movement regime kuntani mide Myanmar de thagya Naga manu और Nagaland de thagya khan border par kurigina jabole pari thagishe idu born gridi bole festa kurishe idu pichida organization bishi pra soka lagai to festa khilaf kuri ase
Relating to our free movement regime, the FMR, which made the headlines just during the last assembly also. So after the hue and cries of the people who are affected, particularly in those residing near the borders, the international borders, and in the interest of Naga people and all other citizens along the McMahon line. The issue has been thoroughly debated in the Assembly, and finally the State Assembly have passed a resolution asking the Government of India to review their decision for scrapping the free movement regime in the border areas, because it curtails our right on so many aspects of life, and this will be detrimental to the interests of people living on both sides of the border, for which, in fact, the two governments of India and Myanmar have had a free movement regime 16 kilometers into their respective countries, understanding our sentiments and our cross-border trades and daily activities. So the government is very firm on its stand, and we have learned that the GOI have taken up this matter and is under active consideration. So we would request all other NGOs and civil society organizations also to be patient and wait, since this matter is being considered. Hopefully, in a positive manner, it will be dealt with by the Government of India. That is our request to every individual and organizations in our state.
Aji Publicite Day laga 74th bar manai thagere Naga National Council bi Chedima Peace Hall pra program do ship. Ido homoide NNC laga president Adino Pizo pra tai laga address te kushi ki 73 saal agire India laga soka pra Naga manu laga independent day doubt thagya ekla no hoigina August 14 1947 the independent declare Korea ge challenge Korea nimdi national publicite lobule lagi jaishe edu pa dunia ge Naga manu laga independent status dikhaishe Adino Pizo kushi ki publicite lua pra Nagaland India laga part hobona nai edu sabole nimide thagya nai kintu manu kan support di ase kuigina record rakhibole nimide thagishe kushe Pizo pra aro kushi ki Naga publicite to referendum nohoi aro kunuba manu kwa nishna Naga manu kan arbi alak publicite na lage NNC laga president pra kushi ki NNC do publicite laga ekta lota author ase etu pra NNC lugde manu kan laga mandate ase manu kunuba India laga constitution bitore nijor problem bana laga solution bisari ase koigina occupation situation do poila khotom kuria pichide hi ekta serious aro meaningful dialogue shuru koribole parbo koishe.
It may be necessary in case of dispute in the mandate. The mandate of the Naga plebiscite was beyond dispute. A referendum may be necessary for secession. Naga's case was not secession case. The plebiscite 1951 mandate had decisively concluded Nagaland's position as an independent nation. The mandate reflected the aspirations of the of all regions. It was inclusive and not exclusive. However, self-exclusion was also a choice because plebiscite exercise itself was voluntary. None can deny that plebiscite and NNC were the two sides of a coin, inseparable. NNC was the sole author of the plebiscite. Naturally, NNC had a people's mandate. Any political organization claiming the mandate of plebiscite will need to prove that there was a smooth transitions of power from NNC to that organization by due democratic process as governed by General International Convention. The mandate of the plebiscite gave the solid basis for all future political talks with the neighbor countries occupying the Naga country. It had closed all doors for any discussion within the constitutional framework of any other sovereignty. Out of ignorance or confusion, some people are continuously harping on finding a solution to self-created problems within the constitutions of India. Occupation situation.
Itiagarni manhi sa Hornbill TV.